Mr. Williams possessed immense wealth, multiple properties, luxury vehicles, vast lands, prestigious hotels, and a thriving enterprise. However, advancing age had begun weakening him. Sitting alone one evening, gazing at family photographs, he pondered deeply. Which family member genuinely cares for me? Who would remain loyal during my darkest hours? Williams summoned his confidential attorney, Mr. John, and personal physician, Dr. Maxwell, to his estate. In his private study, he spoke softly. I wish to stage a serious illness. This will reveal which relatives truly love me versus those merely awaiting my demise. The attorney appeared startled, yet nodded approvingly. Brilliant strategy, sir. However, safeguard portion of your assets. I'll establish a separate account and transfer half your wealth. This protects against potential deception. Williams smiled in agreement. The doctor also consented. I'll inform your family you have terminal cancer with 6 months remaining. I'll make it completely believable. Thus began their elaborate scheme. Next morning, Williams started coughing violently. He remained bedridden, avoided outdoor activities, and barely consumed food, appearing extremely frail. His spouse Agatha, sons Frank and David, daughters Cynthia and Rose, all grew concerned. Summon the doctor immediately, Cynthia exclaimed. Dr. Maxwell arrived, examining him before the entire household. With sorrowful expression, he announced, I apologize. Your father is critically ill with cancer. He likely won't survive beyond 6 months. Everyone gasped in shock. What? Rose screamed. No, Daddy, please don't abandon me. Frank and David appeared stunned. Agatha pressed her chest and collapsed into a chair. Initially, everyone demonstrated care, bringing meals, checking regularly, sitting bedside with comforting words. After 1 week, attitudes shifted dramatically. Agatha stopped visiting his room. I cannot witness his suffering, she declared. It devastates me. Cynthia claimed excessive busyness. David mentioned work, travels. Frank, the eldest, showed increased interest in company affairs. One day, Frank entered the study with documents, telling his father, You should rest. Allow me to manage the company. Williams observed silently, internally taking mental notes. Frank assumed control, redesigning offices, hosting extravagant parties, spending recklessly. He purchased luxury vehicles and expensive vacations. Cynthia also spent freely on designer clothing and accessories. David lavished money on an online girlfriend. Meanwhile, Williams remained bedridden, pretending increasing weakness. Only youngest, daughter Rose stayed constantly by his side, feeding him, cleaning his room, singing lullabies, sleeping on the floor beside his bed. Daddy, I'll never leave you, she cried one day, holding his hand. One evening, Rose approached Agatha. Mommy, let's take Daddy abroad for treatment. Perhaps hope exists. Agatha shook her head. No, too expensive. What if he dies there? We'd waste money unnecessarily. Rose wept again beside her father's bed that night. Across the house, Frank celebrated loudly with friends, boasting, Soon, everything becomes mine. Unknown to him, their father continued watching, listening, pretending. Each morning brought eerie silence to Williams's mansion. Upstairs, in his spacious room, the elderly man lay helplessly on soft bedding. His face showed exhaustion, chest rising and falling slowly, cough deep and harsh as if something internal was breaking. His lips trembled, whispering, Thank you, Rose, my dear daughter. Rose, his youngest child, sat beside him, gently holding his hand. She smiled through tears. I'm staying right here, Daddy. She wiped his perspiring face with warm cloths, helped him sip water, carefully fed him porridge with small spoons. When coughing intensified, she'd softly massage his chest, weeping quietly when unobserved. What nobody realized was Chief Williams was acting. He wasn't actually dying. He wanted discovering who genuinely loved him versus those merely anticipating his death for inheritance. One afternoon, as Rose stepped out rinsing towels, Chief Williams faced the wall whispering, Is this how my life concludes? This family I sacrificed everything for barely checks on me. They don't care about my meals, not even Agatha, my wife. I gave them my life, sweat, reputation. Now they're counting my remaining days. They can't even ask, Daddy, how are you today? A tear fell as he groaned softly. Oh God, what did I do wrong? While the elderly man coughed upstairs, music played loudly downstairs. Frank had converted a guest room into a party venue. He consumed wine, laughed with friends, made loud phone calls as if already owning the entire house. He never checked on his father. One morning at the company, Frank addressed board members proudly. "Good morning. My father is severely ill and won't return. I'm assuming control." Some workers applauded half-heartedly. Others appeared uncomfortable. Mr. Dio, an elderly employee who'd worked for Chief Williams 28 years, stood respectfully. "Chief is still alive. Shouldn't we await his instructions?" Frank slammed the table. "Are you telling me how to run my father's company?" Miss Linda, another staff member, rose slowly. "We only want protecting the company. Perhaps form a support team until Chief speaks." Frank turned to HR. "Terminate all of them. I don't want seeing their faces tomorrow." Security immediately began escorting people out. Mr. Deo shook his head. "You're firing me? I served your father like a brother." "I don't care," Frank shouted. "Leave." David rushed into the office, hearing about the incident. He stormed into the boardroom. "What's wrong with you? Why are you acting like Dad is already dead?" Frank leaned back in the CEO chair. "Wake up, David. Dad has 6 months. I'm preparing ahead." "You're destroying everything he built," David shouted. "You think you're smarter because you studied abroad?" Frank snapped. David stepped closer. "Stop this madness or I'll stop you." Frank pushed him. David punched back. Security rushed in, separating them. Later, Rose heard about the fight. Heartbroken, she called both brothers into the living room. With tears, she said, "Why are you fighting? Daddy is unwell. Why fight over his money and company when he needs our love? Didn't Daddy provide us good lives? Hasn't he sacrificed enough? Why betray him now?" Frank looked down. David remained silent. "If anything happens to him, God won't forgive us," she said, walking away tearfully. That evening, while Rose fed her father, Mr. John knocked. He sat down, saying quietly, "Your boys fought today. Frank fired all your veteran staff. The company isn't safe." Chief Williams smiled weakly. "Let them reveal their true nature. I'm still observing." Loud voices echoed from downstairs, Agatha and Cynthia arguing. "I want selling that land," Cynthia shouted. "Why keep it when Dad is dying?" Agatha replied, coldly. "Let him die first, then we'll sell." Chief Williams heard everything, his heart beating faster, not from illness, but from deep pain, knowing his wife and daughter showed no love, merely awaiting his death. That night, Rose brought warm porridge. "Daddy, please eat something." Chief Williams looked with tired eyes, saying softly, "Thank you, Rose. You're the only one who remained." She sat beside him, crying silently. "If anything happens to you, Daddy, I won't forgive myself." He touched her hand weakly. Next day, Frank held another company meeting. "I have new ideas. We'll launch luxury fashion, clothes, bags, perfumes. I want it big." One worker raised his hand. "But sir, we lack that kind of money currently." Frank laughed. "Then borrow. Do it. It's still my father's company." When David heard about the risky project, he became furious. He left immediately, rushing home to his father's room where Rose held their father's hand. "Rose, give us privacy," he said. "No," she replied. "Whatever you want saying, say it here." David looked at their bedridden father. "Dad, Frank is ruining everything." Chief Williams opened tired eyes, looked at David, then turned away wordlessly because he continued, pretending, observing, keeping his secret. Days passed. Old man Williams maintained his sick act, lying on the same bed in his quiet room. Rose stayed constantly, feeding, bathing, telling stories. Outside that room, situations worsened. One morning, David sat on the balcony, looking furious. He returned from the company, thinking deeply. "Frank thinks he can control everything, wasting all our father worked for. I won't remain passive anymore." Next day, David visited their father's premier luxury hotel, Sunray Grand Hotel. Manager Mr. Felix was surprised seeing him. "Good afternoon, sir," the manager said, standing from his desk. "I came announcing this hotel is for sale," David stated bluntly. "What?" Mr. Felix gasped. "With respect, this is one of your father's finest hotels. He was so proud. Please don't sell. This hotel means everything to him." David's expression hardened. "Are you questioning me regarding my father's property?" "You must be joking. If you try stopping me again, I'll fire you myself." Mr. Felix bowed. "I apologize, sir." But he wasn't at peace. As David left, he called the family lawyer. "Mr. John, David wants selling the hotel. It doesn't feel right. Chief is still alive." "Don't worry," Mr. John replied. "I'll handle it." Next day, Mr. John sent trusted people to secretly purchase the hotel. They acted like strangers. When David sold to them, they kept documents safe, handing everything to Mr. John. The lawyer secured the hotel papers in his private safe for Chief Williams, knowing the old man was only pretending. David didn't stop there. He also sold one of their father's large undeveloped land plots. The same thing happened. Mr. John arranged trusted buyers who gave all documents to him, locking them in his safe. David was happy thinking he'd made money, unaware his father still owned both the hotel and land. 3 days later, news reached Cynthia. She stormed into the living room where David watched TV, screaming, "David, you sold Daddy's hotel and land. Are you insane?" David turned, surprised. "Cynthia, don't shout at me. I'm not a child." "You idiot!" she shouted, slapping him hard. "That land was meant for me. Don't ever sell anything again." David slapped her back, and they began fighting, dragging each other's clothes, overturning chairs, breaking flower vases. A maid ran calling Rose. "Miss Rose, please come quickly. Your brother and sister are fighting." Rose ran in, seeing Cynthia and David shouting and struggling. "What's wrong with you two? Why are you fighting over our father's property when he's still very much alive?" David shouted back, "Is he really alive? Look at him lying like a corpse." Daily. Rose's eyes filled with tears. "Daddy worked so hard providing us good lives. Is this how you're repaying him? Fighting and selling everything? Please stop." Cynthia hissed and walked out. David stormed out too. 2 days later, Agatha entered Chief Williams' room, her face showing disgust. "This room stinks like death. I can't breathe here. Why does it smell like someone already died?" Williams coughed quietly, turning his face away. Agatha shook her head. "You're only sick, not dead yet. Clean yourself and open windows. Do you think all of us will die here because you're sick?" She clapped twice, shouting. "Driver, security!" Rose rushed in. "Mommy, what's happening?" Agatha turned. "I can't stand this room anymore. Your father will sleep in the guest room now. Even hospitals don't smell this bad." "But this is my father's room," Rose cried. "You can't do this." "Shut up," Agatha snapped. "I'm still his wife. I decide what happens in this house." Driver and guards entered. "Carry him," Agatha ordered. "Take him to the guest room now." "No, don't touch my father," Rose shouted, standing before the bed. But the guards moved forward slowly, looking confused. Williams remained quiet, still pretending weakness. As they lifted him gently, he looked around the room with sad eyes, his heart heavy, not from illness, but from the pain his family brought to his soul. Weeks passed, and Chief Williams's once thriving company began suffering. Frank's poor spending and careless decisions were showing. Accounts were empty, profits dropping, loyal clients leaving, staff were murmuring, bills accumulating, suppliers refusing deliveries until payment. The new fashion brand Frank launched with huge billboards was a complete failure. Clothes, too. Expensive, styles poor, nobody buying. They needed money urgently. Frank sat in his office, stressed and sweating. "Where can I get money now? If this company fails, I'm finished." Then a wicked idea entered his mind. "I'll sell the Sunray Grand Hotel." That hotel was the city's most popular and expensive. Their father built it with pride, always calling it "my golden house." That evening, Frank called a family meeting. Everyone gathered in the sitting room. Chief Williams lay quietly in the guest room upstairs, coughing as usual. Frank stood before the family with fake seriousness. "The company faces serious problems. If we don't act fast, we'll lose everything. So I've decided we must sell the Sunray Grand Hotel and invest the money in the company." Before he could finish, Cynthia jumped up shouting, "Which Sunray Grand Hotel? The one David already sold?" The entire room went silent. Frank turned sharply. "What did you say?" Cynthia folded her arms. "You heard me. Ask your younger brother." David stood slowly. Agatha's eyes widened. "David, is it true you sold the Sunray Grand Hotel? Without telling me your mother?" David looked angry. "Mommy, don't shout at me. Did you ask Frank about all the money he wasted in the company? All the parties and fashion nonsense he started?" Frank jumped up, grabbing David's shirt. "You thief! You sold Daddy's hotel and kept the money." David pushed him back. "Don't touch me. I won't fold my arms watching you waste all our father's sweat chasing women and throwing money like water." They began fighting again, chairs falling, glasses breaking. Agatha screamed. Maids fled the house. Cynthia shouted, "You both are mad! You want killing each other?" Rose ran crying. "Why is there no peace in this house? Our father is sick upstairs and you're fighting like animals." She looked at everyone with tears. "Why are we treating Daddy like he's already dead? Why are we so heartless? Has money blinded? All of you?" The room went quiet, but nobody spoke. Later that night, Mr. John quietly entered Chief Williams's room. Rose had just finished cleaning him and stepped out for hot water. Mr. John sat close to the old man, whispering, "Sir, I need telling you something." Williams opened tired eyes slowly, giving a tiny nod. "It's about David," Mr. John said. "He sold the Sunray Grand Hotel and one large land plot, but I prevented strangers from buying. I used my people to secure the papers and kept everything safe." Williams blinked slowly, his heart heavy but grateful. "Thank you." Mr. John added, "The children are destroying each other, sir. It's worsening. But don't worry. I won't let them destroy everything you worked for." Chief Williams closed his eyes as another weak cough escaped. His mind wandered. Is this what I raised my family for? To fight over possessions while I'm still breathing? Frank wasn't finished. He stood in the living room center, gripping David's shirt tightly, his face red with anger. "Bring the hotel money, David. We need it for the company." David pulled away. "For what? So you can throw another useless party or fly some girl to Paris again? I'm not giving you a dime." Frank rushed at him again, but Rose jumped between them. "Stop it, both of you! What's wrong with you? Daddy is upstairs sick and weak, and you're here fighting over money like animals." David shook his head, grabbed his car keys, and stormed out. Frank turned to their mother, Agatha, hands shaking. "Mommy, you heard him. He sold Daddy's hotel and kept the money. What do we do now?" Agatha calmly waved her hand. "Leave him. He's stubborn. If he won't bring the money, then sell another house or car." Frank turned sharply. "Whose car should I sell?" "It won't be mine. That's certain." Agatha didn't blink. "Sell your father's white SUV." Just then, Rose, who'd gone getting water for their father, walked in and froze. "Mama, what did you just say?" Agatha turned. "You heard me. Let him sell that car. We need money," Rose said, tears rising. "That's Daddy's favorite car, and you want selling it while he's still alive?" Agatha hissed and stood. "Don't you understand? We need funds supporting the company before everything crashes." Rose shook her head. "Then tell Frank bringing back the old workers he fired. Those people know the company's foundations. They can help rebuilding." Frank scoffed. "Never. They were rude and useless." "They were loyal," Rose shouted. "Loyal to Daddy. If he trusted them, so should we." 2 days later, the mansion gates opened slowly as 3 large cars drove in. It was Chief Williams' extended family, his younger brother, 2 cousins, and a village elder. They stepped out carrying fruits and drinks. "We heard Chief is unwell. We came visiting. It's been too long." Before they could take 5 steps, Agatha came rushing out, her wrapper flying behind her. "What are you people doing here? Who invited you?" The elder man stepped forward calmly. "Madam, we only came seeing our brother and praying with him." "Pray? Pray for whom? When he was healthy and rich, you didn't come. Now he's sick. You're all here like vultures." The cousins looked down, ashamed. "We didn't mean harm." Agatha clapped loudly. "Return to your village. There's no space. We don't need fake family love. Leave this house now before I call security." "But please, can't we at least greet him?" "I said leave this place now." Agatha shouted. One guard standing near the gate quickly opened it wider. Without another word, the guests quietly returned to their cars and drove away. From an upstairs window, Rose watched everything. She wiped her eyes in pain. She turned to her father lying silently in bed, but his heart was broken. Though he didn't move. A single tear rolled down his cheek. That evening, the house remained tense after the drama with extended family. But things were about to worsen. David stormed into the sitting room, breathing heavily. He'd just returned from work, his face showing fury. "Mama, where's Mama?" Agatha came from the kitchen holding orange juice. "Why are you shouting like that?" David pointed angrily. "Why did you give Frank permission selling one of Daddy's houses? And his car?" Agatha rolled her eyes. "David, must you shout every time you speak? I gave the order because we need money saving the company. Or do you want people laughing at us?" David moved closer. "Mama, with how Frank is running things, what makes you think the company won't crash again, even if we sell 10 houses?" Agatha frowned. "Don't talk like that. He's your elder brother. Show respect." David raised his voice. "Respect? He's not acting like a senior brother. Mama, the problem started when he fired people who'd worked with Daddy for years. The company was thriving. Then he began firing old workers, replacing them with useless friends who know nothing about growing companies. He started acting like the new owner, lavishing money, buying unnecessary things, parading himself as if Daddy is already dead. Now you gave orders selling Dad's SUV and house." Agatha shouted back. "But you were told bringing money from the hotel you sold and refused." David threw his hands up. "Mama, please don't start. If you keep allowing Frank, he'll sell all Daddy's properties one by one and the company still won't grow." Silence for a moment. Then David added, "You know what? I think it's time. Call Mr. John, the lawyer. Let him come reading Daddy's will. Let everyone get what belongs to them. That way, nobody will touch what doesn't belong to them." Agatha was quiet briefly, then nodded slowly. "Fine. I'll call him first thing tomorrow." Next day, by 10 a.m., the living room was full. Cynthia sat on one side, scrolling her phone. Frank crossed his legs, smirking. David folded his arms, waiting. Rose sat in a corner, worried and quiet. Mother Agatha sat in the middle like a queen. The door opened, and Mr. John, the family lawyer, stepped in with a leather folder. "Good morning, everyone. I was told you requested reading Chief William's will." "Yes," David answered quickly. "We want knowing what belongs to each of us before everything is gone." Mr. John cleared his throat, opening the folder. "Unfortunately," he said, looking around the room, "your father hasn't written any will yet." "What?" Cynthia shouted. Mr. John continued, "Yes, he was planning to do so just before falling ill. He even booked an appointment with me, but became too weak before we could meet." Frank stood angrily. "So, you mean there's no will at all?" Mr. John raised a finger. "Even if there was a will, it wouldn't be read while he's still alive. The law is very clear on that." Agatha looked confused. "So what now?" Mr. John looked at all of them one by one. "Now you wait, and you care for your father. He's still alive. Stop fighting. Stop selling things. Stop tearing the family apart." Rose looked up with teary eyes, nodding slowly, but Frank just hissed. David rubbed his forehead in frustration. Cynthia rolled her eyes. Upstairs in the quiet guest room, Old Man Williams lay on his bed. Listening through the small crack in the door Rose always forgot closing. He heard everything. As he coughed quietly, a small, sad smile formed on his lips. "They have shown me who they truly are," he thought silently. A week after the failed will reading, the mansion remained filled with tension and silence. Everyone moved around with heavy faces, barely speaking to each other. But Agatha had something else on her mind. That afternoon, dressed in her finest lace gown and gold earrings, she stepped out, driving to her rich friend Margaret's home, a woman known for boldness and sharp tongue. They hugged at the entrance like old schoolmates. "Ah, Agatha, I heard your husband is very sick," Margaret said as they sat in her beautiful living room. "I hope he recovers." "Oh, but what's the doctor saying?" Agatha sighed heavily. "The doctor said it's cancer, and the worst part, he may Not survive, it's like I'm already a widow. Margaret leaned forward. This is serious. How are you coping? Agatha folded her arms. Coping with what? I'm not just sad. I'm lonely. No one to talk to. No one to hold me. He just coughs all day. Margaret raised a brow, a sly smile playing on her lips. That means he can't satisfy you anymore. Agatha lowered her voice. That part I've been thinking about. Margaret chuckled. You're still young, Agatha, and you're beautiful. You don't need suffering because of a sick old man. If I were you, I would find a young man, someone strong, someone who can satisfy your needs. Agatha's eyes lit up. 2 days. Later, Agatha met Ben, a handsome, charming man in his early 30s. She met him at a spa she visited often where he worked as a gym instructor. They exchanged numbers and soon began meeting in hotels around the city. Ben treated her like a queen, always praising her beauty, massaging her feet, whispering sweet words. I don't know how I survived before meeting you, Agatha told him one evening. Ben smiled. You deserve being loved, sweet mama. They kissed. From that day, Agatha completely abandoned her sick husband. She stopped entering his room, stopped checking his food, leaving everything for Rose to handle. Her days were now filled with laughter, wine, makeup, and hotel visits with Ben. But it didn't end there. Agatha wanted keeping Ben close. So one morning, she shocked the entire family by bringing Ben into the mansion. They were all sitting in the living room when she walked in with him, holding a small leather bag and smiling proudly. Everyone, meet Mr. Ben, she said, placing a hand on his shoulder. He is our new personal driver. Cynthia turned sharply. Mom, I thought we already have a driver. Agatha waved her hand. Yes, we do. But Ben will be my personal driver. He will take me anywhere I want, anytime I want. Frank raised a brow, looking at Ben from head to toe. David rolled his eyes, whispering, more like personal toy. But Agatha didn't care. She ordered the housekeeper, giving Ben a room in the boys' quarters, and told everyone, he starts today. Any problem? No one answered. But deep inside, tension grew thicker in the mansion. And somewhere upstairs, Chief Williams lay quietly in his room, unaware that another storm had just entered his home. That night, the air in the mansion was heavy and quiet, but Rose couldn't sleep. She'd gone to the kitchen looking for her mother and noticed the main living room light was still on. As she turned back to return to her room, she heard strange whispers and giggles coming from the boys' quarters behind the house. Curious, she walked slowly toward the small building barefoot, her heart beating fast. The closer she got, the louder the sound became. Suddenly, a soft moan. Her eyes widened. She pushed the door open, and what she saw made her freeze on the spot. There was her mother, Agatha, sitting on Ben's lap, both half-dressed and whispering into each other's ears like teenagers. Mama! Agatha jumped up in shock. Ben quickly grabbed his shirt. Rose shouted, her voice shaking with anger and tears. Mama, what is this? So this is the driver you hired? This is what you've been doing while Daddy lies weak in that room? Ben stammered. I was just... Get out! Rose screamed. Leave this house now! Ben ran out, not even fully dressed, his slippers flying in different directions. Agatha tried to speak, but Rose cut her off. You abandoned Daddy, your own husband, for this? Agatha, breathing hard, said, What do you expect me to do, Rose? I'm lonely. Your father is dying. He doesn't even talk to me anymore. Rose's face was red with tears. Mama, he's still alive. You left him alone like he doesn't matter. You chose your own pleasure over the man who gave you everything. Agatha pointed a finger. Don't you ever tell anyone what you saw, not even your brothers. Rose turned and walked away, shaking, angry, broken. Next morning, Rose sat by her father's bed, watching him sleep, tears running down her cheeks. She whispered to herself, There's no point keeping him here anymore. No one cares. Maybe, just maybe, something in the village can help. She wiped her tears, packed a few things, and quietly made arrangements with the mansion driver. By evening, she had taken Chief Williams far away, back to the village where he was born. In the village, as soon as Chief Williams arrived, news spread fast. Chief is sick. Chief is back home. His extended family, uncles, cousins, elders, and even villagers came out to welcome him. Some brought fruits, some brought palm wine, others brought old herbs. They sat around in the compound, shaking their heads sadly. "Ah, this man was so kind to us. He gave me money to open my farm. He built the community school." They began contributing money, food, and advice. One elderly woman said, "There is one herbalist, a strong one. His medicine is even more powerful than hospital drugs. We will call him. Let's try." Another added, "We must not lose Chief like this." Rose watched, touched, and surprised. So many people love my father, and yet his own household turned their backs on him, she thought. Next day, the herbalist arrived. A tall, dark man with white chalk on his face and a long bag of roots and bottles. He entered the small room where Chief Williams lay. He looked at the old man quietly, then turned to Rose. "Let me speak with him alone." Rose nodded and stepped out. The herbalist sat beside Chief Williams and leaned close. "I see you have strength in your eyes. You're not as weak as they told me." Chief Williams sighed. "Because I'm not sick." The herbalist sat up sharply. "What?" "I don't have cancer," Chief Williams said, his voice low but firm. "It was all a plan, a test." The herbalist blinked. "A test?" Chief Williams nodded. "To know who truly loves me, who will stand by me if I am helpless. Only my lawyer and doctor know. I kept it from my children, my wife, and everyone else. I needed seeing their hearts." The herbalist looked deeply into the old man's eyes, then slowly smiled. "You are wise, Chief. Very wise. You wanted seeing beyond the surface." Chief Williams closed his eyes slowly. "Now I know." The herbalist sat still for a moment, looking at Chief Williams with great respect. "Chief, you are not just a rich man. You are a man of deep wisdom. Many people fear death, but you used it as a mirror to see true hearts." Chief Williams gave a tired nod. "Thank you, my friend. But what I have seen has broken me." The herbalist placed a warm hand on his shoulder. "You are not alone. You still have one child who truly loves you, your daughter, Rose. She's the light in your darkness. Hold on to her." Outside the room, Rose paced the courtyard, watching the herbalist's bags, her heart pounding. "Please let him have good news," she whispered. The herbalist finally stepped out. She rushed to him. "How is he? Is he okay?" The man gave a gentle smile. "Your father is stronger than you think." Rose's eyes lit up. "You mean the herbs are already working?" The herbalist chuckled softly and patted her shoulder. "Just keep doing what you're doing. Your love is already healing him." Rose was confused, but nodded anyway. "Thank you." Back in the city mansion, Frank roamed the house like a roaring lion, checking documents and shaking his head. "The company is dying. No money is coming in. Investors are pulling out." He barged into the sitting room where Agatha and Cynthia watched TV. "Mama Cynthia, if we don't act fast, the company will shut down completely." Agatha shouted. "Act fast again, Frank. We are not selling anything. You can close down that fashion brand you opened." Cynthia rolled her eyes. "Why don't you sell your car this time?" Frank glared at her. "Don't be stupid." David walked in from outside, overhearing them. He laughed bitterly. "We are not selling anything. Maybe sell that house of yours." Frank jumped up. "At least I'm trying saving the company, not sitting around like you." David pointed at him. "Save the company? You're the one who ruined it. From the moment you took over, all you've done is waste money and show off." "Keep talking," Frank growled. "You're just jealous because I'm the first son." "Jealous?" David shouted. "You're mad!" They rushed at each other again. Cynthia screamed, "Stop it, you fools! You'll bring down the roof!" Agatha just stood up slowly and walked out. She was tired of all the shouting, but she didn't know the storm was just beginning. Back in the village, for the first time in many weeks, Chief Williams walked out of the small hut with help from Rose. He wasn't pretending now. He was just tired. Truly tired, not from sickness, but from heartbreak. The extended family gathered around, clapping. "Chief is getting better, thank God. We will continue praying. An elder pulled Rose aside. My daughter, your father's spirit is strong. Take care of him, and he will live long. Rose smiled, though her eyes were wet. Thank you, sir. That night, Chief Williams sat under the stars on a wooden chair covered in a thick wrapper. He looked around at the quiet compound, the smell of firewood, the soft sounds of crickets, and peace, something he hadn't felt in years. He whispered to himself, maybe this is the beginning of something new. That evening in the village, the sky turned orange as the sun slowly disappeared behind the palm trees. The compound was calm with a soft breeze sweeping through the trees. Chief Williams sat quietly under the mango tree, staring at the dusty ground. Rose came out with a warm bowl of yam porridge and placed it beside him. Daddy, eat something. You haven't touched anything since morning. He looked up at her. His eyes were tired, but there was peace in them now. Rose, he said gently, sit down, my daughter. There's something I must tell you. Rose blinked. What is it, Daddy? Chief Williams sighed and took her hand. I have to tell you the truth. Everything you saw, the sickness, the doctor's report, the coughing, the weakness. He paused. Rose looked confused. He continued. It was all a test. I was never sick. I don't have cancer, Rose gasped. Daddy, what? I pretended, he said slowly, because I wanted knowing the heart of everyone in our family. I wanted knowing who truly loves me when I can no longer provide money, when I can't speak, walk, or stand. I wanted seeing who will wipe my tears and who will battle over my treasures. Rose sat frozen, her eyes wide. So all this time? Chief Williams nodded. You were the only one who stood by me, he said, tears welling up. You fed me. You bathed me. You even brought me to this village hoping to find a cure. But I wasn't sick. I was observing. And you? You made me proud. Rose covered her mouth, shocked beyond words. Later that night, Chief Williams asked the elders and extended family members gathering under the big tree. He stood, this time without help, and raised his voice. My people, I have something to confess. The elders and cousins looked at each other in surprise. I was never sick. I never had cancer. They gasped. It was a plan, he continued. I wanted testing my family to know who truly loved me and who only loved my wealth. The elders stared in silence. Chief Williams raised his hands. And now I know. But I want thanking all of you. The way you came together, your love, your support, your prayers. I will never forget it. He turned slowly. Especially you, my daughter Rose. You stood beside me even when everyone else walked away. Everyone clapped. One elder stood up. Chief, you have taught us something great. This world is full of pretenders. You are truly wise. Another woman added, your daughter is a blessing. May God bless her more. Chief Williams smiled for the first time in many weeks. Next day, the morning sun rose bright and bold. Rose helped. Her father packed his small bag. He wore a clean native outfit, walked with strength, and smiled at everyone in the compound. When they reached the car, the villagers gathered again. Chief, safe journey. Come back to visit us. We love you, Chief. Chief Williams waved at them, blowing kisses as the car drove off slowly down the red, dusty road back to the city. It was like a dream. As the car entered the mansion compound, the gatemen opened their mouths in shock. Chief! They watched in disbelief as the old man stepped out of the car, not coughing, not limping, not weak. He was strong. He was alive. He was back. Rose stood beside him, holding his bag. Let's go in, Daddy, she said softly. He nodded. It's time. But the real shock was waiting inside. Inside the house, Cynthia was scrolling through her phone on the couch when she heard the door open. She turned casually, then froze. Her mouth dropped open. Daddy! She jumped to her feet and ran toward him. Daddy, you're walking. You're okay. You're not coughing. She hugged him tight. I can't believe it. I thought... Just... Then David came downstairs wearing headphones. He pulled them off in shock. Wait, what's going on here? He saw his father standing alive, strong, not weak, not dying. "Daddy!" Frank followed behind, holding a bottle of wine. When he saw his father, the bottle dropped from his hand and shattered on the floor. You're fine." Chief Williams looked at his 3 children and gave a small smile. "Good afternoon." From the kitchen, Agatha's voice echoed. "Who broke something again in this house?" She stopped as she stepped into the living room, and her eyes caught the one man she thought would never walk again. Her heart nearly jumped out of her chest. "Darling." She grabbed the wall for support, staring at Williams and then at Rose. "You're well. You're strong. You're walking with strength." Rose stood beside him proudly. "Welcome home, Daddy," she said softly. Chief Williams nodded and walked straight into his master bedroom without saying a word. The whole house went quiet like a funeral ground. Everyone turned to Rose like bees. Cynthia grabbed her hand. How? How did this happen? What did you do?" David added, "The doctor said he had late-stage cancer and was going to die. How is he standing like nothing happened?" Frank scratched his head. "This has to be a miracle." Agatha whispered, "It's like I'm dreaming." Rose gave them a calm but cold stare. "I didn't perform a miracle. I just gave our father what he truly needed. Love, care, and peace. Any other questions, you can go and ask him yourselves." She turned and walked upstairs, leaving them in total confusion. Later that night, Chief Williams sat alone in his room. He opened a drawer beside his bed and brought out something surprising. A small black device. It was a CCTV camera. He opened a secret box under his bed and brought out 2 more. One by one, he connected them to a screen. And there it was. Footage. Clear recordings of everything that happened in the room while he pretended being sick. Everything. All of it recorded. He took a deep breath. Then he picked up his phone and dialed. "Hello, Mr. John. Come to the house tomorrow morning. We need speaking. Bring all the documents I gave you. It's time." Downstairs, the rest of the family sat in the living room, silent, each one lost in thought. The living room was heavy with silence. No one spoke. No one moved. David sat with his head low. Cynthia was biting her nails. Frank had both hands squeezed into fists. Agatha stood at the corner of the room, arms folded, eyes darting nervously. The family lawyer, Mr. John, sat with a calm face and a brown folder in his hand. Then Chief Williams entered. Strong, steady, bold. He walked to the center of the room and stood like the lion he had always been. "I've already explained everything to Mr. John," he began. "Now it's time I tell all of you the truth." They all looked up, eyes wide, breaths held. "I never had cancer," he said clearly. "I was never sick. It was all a test of love, a test of loyalty, a test to know the hearts of my wife and children." He paused and looked at each of them slowly. "And you showed me who you truly are." His voice shook slightly. "Only one person stood with me. One person from beginning to end cared for me like a true child. That person is Rose." He turned sharply to Frank, David, and Cynthia. "I gave you all quality education. I gave you luxurious lives, cars, travel, a company, name it. And yet, the moment you thought I was dying, you didn't wait. You started sharing my properties like I was already in a coffin." He stepped closer to Frank. "You, Frank, my company was strong, doing great. What did you do? You fired the loyal workers who built the company with me. Men and women who sacrificed for years. You removed them like trash and brought in your friends. You threw parties with company funds. You ruined what I spent 40 years building. You sold my house and my SUV. You destroyed everything I built with sweat." Frank covered his face in shame. Chief turned to David. "And you had the audacity to sell one of my biggest luxury hotels and one of my most treasured lands. You sold them like toys. Why? Because you didn't suffer building them. Thank God for the kind of lawyer I have. He bought them back secretly just to protect my legacy." David dropped to his knees, weeping. "Daddy, please forgive me." "David," Chief continued coldly, "that hotel and land were meant being your inheritance. You have sold them with your own hands. You have the money now. Good. Use it. Go and find yourself a job elsewhere because you will never step into my company again." He turned slowly to Frank. "You too, Frank. The company money you lavished, the house and car you sold, that was your inheritance. It's gone now. You have nothing left with me. Leave my company, find your own way, and go look for another job." Tears fell from Frank's eyes. "Daddy, please." Chief raised his hand. "Enough." He turned to Cynthia. "You wanted selling my land, too. The only reason you didn't succeed was because you didn't have the documents. From today, you get nothing from me until you earn it. If you want proving yourself, do it with action, not words. Only then will I forgive you and give you part of your inheritance." Cynthia fell to her knees, crying. Chief then turned slowly to his wife. "And you, Agatha, after everything I did for you, the comfort, love, and loyalty, you had the mind bringing a small boy, a stranger, into my house and sleep with him while I lay pretending on my sick bed." Agatha tried to speak. "Darling, please." "I am not your darling," he snapped. "You have 24 hours leaving my house. Pack your things and go. I no longer owe you anything." Agatha dropped to the floor, wailing. "Please, I beg you, forgive me." But Chief turned to Mr. John. "Call the security. Make sure she leaves peacefully but permanently." Then Chief Williams smiled and held Rose's hand. "Mr. John, this is why I asked you coming today. All of my remaining properties, my estates, houses, businesses, everything I have left now belongs to Rose." The children gasped. Cynthia froze, in shock. Frank gripped the edge of the couch to steady himself. David cried silently. Chief continued. "Rose is the only one who showed me love, who believed in me, who carried me like a baby when I was acting helpless, and for that she is now the sole inheritor of my wealth." He turned to Mr. John again. "Effective immediately, Rose is the new CEO of my company. Call all the workers, especially those loyal men and women Frank fired. Tell them to return. Their places are waiting for them." Mr. John smiled. "Already in progress, sir." 1 year later, the company had risen again, stronger than ever. Under Rose's leadership, the business doubled its profits. New branches opened, awards poured in. The old loyal workers returned and worked with joy, calling her Madame Rose the Wise. Chief Williams sat in his office, proud and peaceful, watching as his daughter held board meetings with confidence and wisdom. David and Frank found jobs elsewhere and tried rebuilding their lives. Cynthia kept trying, proving to her father that she had changed. Agatha, no one heard from her again. But Rose, she stood tall, respected, honored, and loved. Because when the test came, she passed with flying colors. The end. Thanks for reading. If you enjoyed this story, please share your thoughts in the comments section and tell us where you're reading from. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories.